Now, I'd like to introduce you to our audience member, Denise. Now, Denise has suffered from depression and tragically has had suicidal thoughts. Thank you so much for sharing your story this morning, Denise. What can you tell us about some of your experiences?
When I had my 55th birthday, I was away on holidays. I spent the whole week crying, couldn't understand why, and I sort of said to my partner at the time, I think I need to see a doctor when I get home.
And that was quite quick. You thought of that quickly, because a lot of people will ignore it, but you...
I knew that there was a reason why, because it wasn't my disposition to be like that. When I went back, I went to see the doctor and I had to pick up blood test results, and I said, you know, how are my tests? And he said, perfect, keep doing what you're doing. And I burst into tears and he went, OK, this is not you. It's time that you need to see somebody. And he put me on medication, and I also was seeing a psychologist.
That's two pretty big things, isn't it? How did you feel about doing both of those things at the same time?
I wanted to find out why and what for and how come. I was not willing to accept that there was a do-all and end-all. He asked me how I was feeling, and I said to him I felt like I wanted to end it. Then he said, well, we must tell your next of kin because you're on suicide watch. So my partner at the time, he was brought in and he was told. Then on Are You OK Day, he turned around and said, I no longer love you, and he left me. So then my daughter was put on suicide watch for me, and she admitted not so long ago that she didn't look for work for 12 months because she was too scared to leave me alone. And I found my little dog brought me out of depression very quickly. For 4 days, I stayed in my bed and cried for 4 days. And in the end, when I finally got up, she wouldn't let me go past the front door. And until I took her out, and she wouldn't come home until she was ready to come home. And our walks would take up to 3 or 4 hours a day, just around the local area. And I found that was really a good stress release.
How are you feeling now?
Quite good, actually. I threw last 12 months into travel. I travelled to over 10 countries in that 12 months. Did something I wanted to do and just started to enjoy life. And you have your moments, you think about it and you contemplate it. But I now know how to deal with it and to get over it. In those 4 days that I stayed in bed, I researched suicide. And there was a poem on there I found, and after it got past the first verse, it said, well, you're still reading this, so you're still with me. And it was really good. It was it was thought-provoking. It made you really think that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even though at the time it doesn't seem like it.
Absolutely. And we're so glad that you're still here with us, Denise. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
OK, Joe, who are you with at the moment?
Well, Sarah, I've got